Good
And I had
evening,
brought
everyone.
lipstick and
Welcome to tonight's episode of Hey Sister. It is our year in review.
yes,
Woo! Hey,
yes.
sister.
I am multitasking, gang, because my sister and I are not prepared, but we are prepared.
I
And then
mean,
not you see, and I switched sides, so now it's just
I
Demetria and
know.
Christina.
Okay, it's fine. They know who we are, right?
Yep, it's great.
I think so. Well, everybody, make sure that you join the conversation in the comments. We're probably gonna share this with a couple folks so that because we didn't tell y'all in advance we were coming on. We just said, hey, let's just do it. Let's just do it on New Year's Eve while
Yeah,
we're here together.
yeah.
Let's have some conversation about what was the year 2025. I can hardly believe that we are already here. Because
Really?
because I remember last December 31st, I was in Florida. I was at home in Florida,
Uh-huh.
and we were ringing in the bell for Xavier's centennial year. We did this whole Zoom call. We had folks from all across the country,
Yeah.
and we rang in the bell literally to ring in the new year to celebrate Xavier's centennial year. And that's one of the highlights of 2025. Now, there have been some lowlights because if you watch the news, there's definitely lowlights, okay, and
Yeah.
low lights.
Lives.
Lives.
Plural.
And in spite of all of that, we know that God is still good, that life is great. To be on the side of the living is a wonderful experience. We had a loss in our family that was a significant loss,
Yes.
and this year,
And we're going to talk about that
and
because
we're gonna talk about that.
we've had a few losses that have been pretty significant.
Significant, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and but even with all of that, we are still abundantly blessed and we're grateful and we're looking forward to what 2026 has in store. Now, I shared earlier with my cousins in a little text chain, like these whole the calendar, it's kind of meaningless at this point because it seemed like it just goes faster and faster. It's like, but while what day it is, every other animal species is hibernating and resting while we out here trying to set goals and start new stuff in the wintertime when it's snowing outside. That ain't how nature's supposed to work. It's really the renewal is in the springtime. We'll get to that later. Um, but with all of that,
Hmm.
we need to find meaning in every day. And so that's what I'm looking forward to in 2026. It's finding meaning and purpose in every day and continue to live purposefully. Hear that? Purpose fully. So with purpose and fully in everything that I do. That's what I want to do in 2026. What about you?
I want to restart.
Okay.
2025 for me has been one of the more difficult years in recent years. And to be honest, I am a little, I would say I probably started this month very hopeful about 2026. And then as the days wore on, I started to say, what if this is like 2019 all over again? And I
Ooh.
don't know if you all remember, but 2019, we all were just like, that was the beginning of COVID. We were starting to see it. It started in that basically, as we know, it started in November of 2019. And then we started seeing more stuff happening in December 2019. And so it was like, let's hurry up and get to 2020 because 2020 was going to be the year of vision.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to 2020, and the same person who's in the White House now was in the White House.
Mm.
He and so it just was like, yeah, our eyes were open, in the year of vision, but it definitely was nothing like any of us had anticipated. So I'm also a little hesitant to get too, and that sounds so bad, to be too
Optimistic.
optimistic.
Mm.
I just don't want to overshoot it. So, but I'm hoping for a restart. It's been a lot of different things happening um, in my life personally and professionally, and I'm really hoping to. I don't want to regret any of the time, and
Mm-hmm.
that's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's hard not. It's hard to remain grateful. One of the words that came to me, and I said I really need to put it into practice, was surrender
Mm-hmm.
in this year. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know that I fully did it. So I really do want to fully surrender and be open to new things coming into my life. So, yeah, starting anew is sort of what I'm looking forward to in 2026. So, with that, we were going to just talk through some of the things that we did
Yeah.
in 2025, because despite being a very tough year, as I took some time to try to put some of this together, I was like, oh, I've been moving around. I've been moving a little bit.
She been outside, y'all.
I've been
Mhm.
outside. It's funny because I don't really go outside when where I live, but I'm always outside when I'm not there. It's a very interesting thing. So,
Happy New Year. And
Happy
yes,
New Year.
one of the things we want to do in 2026 is talk to more sisters. And so we are going to invite you and your sister to come on Hey Sister so we can talk about our sister relationships, whether they be by blood like us, or by friendship, or by sorority, or by anything that, however you define sister, it could be church, whatever community that you're in. So we will be inviting you and your sister to join us in 2026. Because one thing I know is that community is how we get through this. She
Yes.
says, Christina, check out the Surrender Experiment.
Oh,
Come on,
okay.
girl.
Well,
Always resources. Always. We
yes.
always have the resources. Yes.
The surrender experiment. Okay, I will do that. So, in Jan,
And I want to say something because
okay.
I have shared with Alessandra. I actually shared some of the things that we have been talking about goals and goal setting, and with another friend of ours, a mutual friend. And I was like, we've been talking about the tyranny of goals, and she was like, and I was like, it's not that we don't believe in setting goals or establishing goals, but there's a lot of time. What I mean by the tyranny of goals and goal setting is sometimes we establish goals and then we beat ourselves up with those goals, because there are situations and circumstances and things that happen and evolve that are out of our control. So if we lean into focusing on what we can control, and have goals around those things, um fully surrendering to what we don't have control of, and again adapting, being flexible, and moving through things, allowing ourselves the grace to change. I think it's a mind shift and a different thought process and a pursuit. And one of the people I follow on social media, she had some questions, and I'll share it later on our feed, because I really feel that those questions were very powerful. And they're like, what rooms do I want to be in? What tables do I want to sit at? What conversations do I want to have? What do I want to learn? How do I want to contribute? What do I want to experience? How do I want to, and I'm adding more, because these are the kind of things I think we really should be thinking about now, more so than arbitrary what the calendar says, or specific goals that we set. If we reframe them by, well, what do I want to be experiencing right now in my life, and who are the people I need to surround myself to create that experience, I think it's a game changer.
I think that goals are important.
Yes.
Like you said, you don't want to be a slave to your goals or the tyranny of goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do think it's important to sort of work backwards, is what I hear you saying. Like, where do I want to be? Who do I want to be surrounded at? What surrounded by? What tables I want to be at? Um,
And I would also say, and don't put arbitrary time frames on it.
yeah,
Because I think that's where the tyranny comes in. Because we're like, oh, it didn't happen by July, so then, oh, I'm just gonna, throw everything out, and it's like, no, because a lot of time we seed in the ground.
I think today as we were driving, so we just came back from Houston.
Shout
Told
out to our Houston family.
told
Had
you
a great time.
we were moving.
We've been outside,
We've been
yeah.
outside. So we just got back from Houston. But as we were driving, we were listening to NPR and they were talking about kindness. And I think that that is a part of what I would like to do more of in 2026, because it is so easy to get bombarded with all of the negativity.
Mhm.
And they were basically just saying how your health outcomes are better when you're kind. It's not just about what you do for the other person, but it's about what you get in return. Health outcomes, but we should do it for just the sake of doing the right thing and being kind, right? Not because we have a moral compass. And I think we're surrounded by people who don't seem to have a moral compass. And so part of the surrendering for me and part of the goal setting for me is really about how do I show up in a more kind way? How am I being more kind to others? Because while I'm dealing with my stuff, there are a lot of other people who are dealing with a lot of things that are much worse. It doesn't diminish my stuff, but if I'm kind to other people, and I'm like, one lady was saying she was dealing with a lot of depression, and so she started volunteering at the food bank.
Mm-hmm.
And that resonated with me, because when I did volunteer earlier this year, and this was before the tariff nightmares, this was before the SNAP nightmare. Um, when I did volunteer, I was like, yeah, I've not had to come to the food bank yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a blessing. And not because I think it can't happen to me, but it's like but I haven't had to, despite all the other situations. And so there's still a blessing in that. But because I can, I should be kind and give to others. So, all right, I know we're going off a little bit, but let's talk about some of the things. Hi, Jody.
Yes, yes. So this is the impromptu coming to you live tonight, as we've done a few fireworks.
Yes.
And family tradition, and we just decided, yeah, let's do it. Let's come on live and let's do our little year in review, and then, hey, hopefully some folks will join us, some folks will watch it in replay, but talk about all of the things of 2025 as we get ready for 2026.
Yes. So, okay. So, January, I'm looking for more of the pictures because I don't see any of me and you in my stuff here. And I know we took
we
pictures
was
together.
outside in January. Okay.
So, we went to DC for DC Mardi Gras and Crew of Pyros. Shout out to our
the
cousin, Crew of Pyros, and our cousin Donna, who is one of their charter members or founding members or what have you, and KOP for short. And we had a wonderful time. We really did. DC Mardi Gras was going on simultaneously. We did not, my sister always represented for her university.
As I am right now.
Right. Both of our universities were present for DC Mardi Gras. So they had a few, things, meeting with legislators and everything. And I'm not going to lie, as my niece would say, not going to lie. Our production assistant is behind us too, but we won't put on blast. You better shout out Southern University too.
Well, I'm always on giving.xula.edu, honey, because it's the last day to give. You need a tax break? You need a little tax remedy? Go ahead on, drop that. What's y'all giving link?
I don't know it like by heart. I'll find.
Let me look it. We'll look it up. Let's look
anyway.
It up. Yeah. Oh, our production. Oh, well, look at the link and drop them in the comments. Production assistant, come on.
Jackson
Get on your job.
I was the foundation, True Blue Foundation. Anyway, I was a little salty. I saw some of those legislators. I saw one in particular from the state of Louisiana who once was shot and has not done anything about gun control.
I don't have tea to drink, so I'm just gonna put these lips on. Mm-hmm.
It was challenging for me. I was literally like, how are we acting like we didn't just, this country didn't just reelect, talk about tyranny, a tyrant. And of course, you know, starting off this year, sadly, in New Orleans, we had a situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we still haven't done anything about gun control in this country. That one was challenging. Overall, Cruel Pyros was great. DC Mardi Gras, cool. But I was like, I am not sure how we're all in the building. And just, I mean, like, we should have these kind of amicable relationships to get business done. But how are we we great for Mardi Gras, but then we going back to being
to tomfoolery and chicanery
and shenanigans.
And
not the good ones.
And not the good ones. And I think that one of the things for me personally, you know, I've always been an independent. I'm not hey Shelly, how you doing?
Happy New Year.
I am not for the whole D and the R thing. I really want people to get things done that matter and that are meaningful. And that is what was really, really, that's important to me. And I'm like, ooh, child, this, it was very interesting. And the energy, oh, y'all, the energy, because that person had just been elected and the shift was happening in DC again. And that energy, you could feel it.
You could.
It wasn't a kind energy. It wasn't a kind energy. It wasn't a joyful energy. But y'all, we got a few more years of this. And in the words of Dave Chappelle, we gonna be all right.
Did you not? She was gonna drop Jason Tate and I put Southern and I.
She's looking for it. Yeah, go ahead.
Foundation that True Blue.
True Blue Foundation. Something.
Let me find it.
All
Continue. Right. But that's, I don't know. We may not get pictures tonight. Because I'm sending it, but I'm asking my production assistant for foundation.sus.edu. Foundation.sus, in other words, the Southern University System.edu. You can go to the True Blue Foundation and give until your heart feels content.
And that's something that, again, you know, we giving to these institutions that are important. One of the things I did, I love PBS programming. I gave to PBS this month before the end of the year, gave to my institution because these institutions are being threatened. They're being threatened by the federal funding. So our tax dollars are going to a lot of chicanery and foolishness and not things that I support, you know. So I feel like I have a say in that. But, you know, January came and went and it was like, woo, that was January. Then February.
Because we were there like right after, you know, the person got brought in. And, you know, when we were planning to go, we had a different thing in mind. So we were like, we're going to stay the whole week. We're going to be there for the inauguration, MLK Day. Then we going back on the back end, hit the Cruel Pyros and DC Mardi Gras. And y'all American people did some other things. But
that's all right. February.
Okay. So we came home. Mm-hmm. We participated in the Crew of Shaka's Mardi Gras ball.
Yes.
Ultimately, they did not have their parade when it was originally going to be scheduled because we were going to see the Xavier University marching band come to Louisiana. But something happened. What was it? The winds was too strong.
The winds were high, and they ended up having to cancel the parade.
And then they moved it to Mardi Gras Day, and then something else happened, I believe. So I don't even know that they had the parade. I can't remember. Or maybe they had it, but it was much smaller scale. But yeah, we did that. Listen, the highlight was we got to party with PNC. We love PNC. Shout out to Partners in Crime. from New Orleans, Louisiana. We brought them on to the dough, and I think a lot of people were happy to have that experience. And I'm gonna not say much more about
Yeah,
that.
it was a great experience. We had a great time. And Mardi Gras is big here, y'all. Like Mardi Gras is in February this year. February what?
The 17th is the actual
February
Fat
17th
Tuesday.
is Fat
So we
Tuesday.
already got
Y'all,
king cakes out.
baby, the king cakes was out a day after Christmas. The king cakes were out. It is on and popping.
Which makes me question who baking them, because baby, let me tell you what is not happening on Christmas Day. We're nobody baking no king cakes. So how we got king cakes out the next day?
Girl, I saw the day they had a churro king cake in there. They had of course, all the traditional, all the fillings, baby. The king cakes is king caking all up in the Rouse's supermarket in Thibodaux, Louisiana, and everywhere else you go.
Yeah. So in lieu of a Mardi Gras parade, I did get to go to the NAACP Image Awards with my good friend Kim, and sending her and Val much love. We love y'all, sisters. We will have you all on Hey Sister too, but we love y'all. And yeah, that's enough of that. So in March, I traveled to Jackson, Mississippi with our friend of Hey Sister, Jessica. And Jessica, like last September, she had an idea. She started writing about her experiences with fibroids, and ultimately the love story, if you will, meaning the people who surrounded her and loved on her during one of the most difficult times in her life. And she ended up writing a short film. And so in November last year, I had a 30-minute sneak peek of my film, Thibodauxville, the story of the Thibodaux Massacre, Race, Riot, and Resilience, and kind of forced her to talk about it. And she spoke it out loud. And the type of person she is when she says something in front of people, she feels committed to it because she doesn't want to let those people down, because she said it in front of them. Like, she don't want you to make her out a lie. And so in March of this year, we filmed her short film, Endless Cycle, in Jackson, Mississippi. So yeah, check out Endless Cycle. Is that the website? I mean, make sure. Yep. Oh, you got it already. Oh, okay. Yes. Why? Let me doing weird stuff here. But anyway, so yes, I am a producer on that film, and she's a producer on Thibodauxville film. So that was a great experience. I'm super proud of my sis. We're super proud of our sis, Jessica Kennedy Vickers.
So y'all look for both of them. They're in the process, entering film festivals, doing the thing. Y'all support Endless Cycle Film. Y'all support Thibodauxville film as well. Production assistant, would you drop the link to the Thibodauxville film in there as well?
You got it. Thibodauxvillefilm.com.
Yeah. So
with an E.
Yes, please support their projects, because those projects are still going on and happening.
Yes.
So
then in April, you went to your undergraduate chapter, and you go ahead, tell them about it.
I was a keynote speaker at Epsilon Tau's annual spring tea. It was a scholarship tea. It was a great time. I really enjoyed speaking. I also gave a leadership scholarship. And it is always a great time to be in the presence of my sorority sisters, but really seeing my young sorority sisters as they walk the path that I once walked. I absolutely adored that experience. And my sister was able to be there with me. My cousin was there.
My line sister Samara was there.
Yeah, and my son got him and some of his frat brothers to come out as well. So it was a great experience all the way around.
It was.
And
then you had Spring into Leadership.
Yes.
9th annual.
Ooh, child, let me tell y'all something about Spring into Leadership. I am still planning and growing and doing all the things Spring into Leadership. So we are looking forward to our next Spring into Leadership coming up. So stay tuned, more information to come. And it will be our 10th annual. Can't even believe it.
Drop that link as well because it's important. Listen, okay, let me say this. I've been to almost all of the Spring into Leaderships. I've had some things that conflicted, and so I wasn't able to go to all of them. But I've been to almost all of them, and every year I gotta say, my sister ups the ante. She gets better. She does her thing. And this past year, we did it at a resort, and that experience of being in close community with an intimate group of women and having so much. I mean, Dr. Alessandra led us through what was it called, a releasing sort of ceremony.
Yes, we did a releasing ceremony, a ritual. Yeah,
ritual.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know that there was a dry eye in the house, in the literal house, because it was a huge home that we were there. And when you're going through things, and we're all going through things, and we're all going through things all the time, even when it's good things, right? We're having an experience,
mm-hmm.
but to release and to let go of things.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, sometimes some people might think these things are hokey. Not. The every aspect of that releasing ceremony and cleansing ceremony was so perfectly curated. It was, I don't want to give it all away.
No, don't give it all away. Y'all gotta show up and come on, be there sometime. If you've never been to the Spring into Leadership Women's Conference, when you see me put it out there, when you see me promote it, you need to join. And it was for a small group of women. I'm probably gonna keep it at a small group again this time. But honey, if you want life-changing and transformation and community, personal growth and transformation, you just need to be there. So
I gotta say this also. I had my first Reiki there as well. And what do you call it? A Reiki ritual, Reiki
just practice, a Reiki
session.
Yeah,
I had my first Reiki session.
Oh, child, honey, the Reiki had folks coming out of that room. Shout out to Lanitha.
I don't know what was trying to get out of my body, but when I tell you, my chest, it felt like, yeah. If you got to be of a certain age to remember the Gremlins. And the Gremlins, when the little cute gremlin got wet, then all of the evil little gremlins started coming out. It was like, well, it looked gross. Back then it did. I don't know what it looks like now because we got so many things. When I tell you, it felt like something was trying to escape my body physically through my chest. And I was told I have a very powerful heart chakra. It was so needed. And don't get me wrong, when you're in these confined spaces, you feel everything, you're having that experience, and it's easy to forget about it. But that's an experience that I won't soon forget.
Yes. Yeah. Reiki is definitely deeply healing. And Dr. Alessandra also practiced Reiki. We had Lanitha there who did our Reiki, and it was phenomenal. Everybody who came out of that room, I had one of my colleagues and good friends, sorority sister, she came out and she was like, I don't know what she did. Like, I don't know. How does she know these things? I was like, she know these things. She's a practitioner. That's what they do. They curate the experience, but they study energy. And because Reiki is all about energy and energetic movement. So yeah, honey, Reiki is the real deal. If you can get you some in 2026, get you some. Yeah. Get you some. Yeah. Get you some. Get you some. Everybody get you some. Okay, that's a side note. All right.
So I will say this. I did also in April of this year, I did say goodbye to one of my very dear sisters, Ayadeli. And it's, oh man,
it's still a loss.
It's a loss. It's always going to be a loss, and it's still very unbelievable. And yeah, so the beauty of it, if there was any beauty to be found or taken away,
Mm.
is she had a very spiritual, lively, full of love sort of homegoing.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So many of our sorority sisters showed up. And it was just, it's one of those things where I was like, this is such a great party. I just wish she was here for it,
Mm-hmm.
because it it was just so beautiful to see how many people showed up for her. And yeah, I was literally like, the terrible part is that she's not here for it, but always in my heart, sis. So
Yes,
there's that.
yes. We love Aya and we love her mom.
Yes.
I met her obviously through my sister because she was her big sister in the sorority. And so we've been connected for many, many years. And um, one thing that I think, because again, we talked about as we were starting up, we've had a few losses this year they're very hard hitting. Hers was very hard hitting for me, tangentially, because I didn't have the same relationship as they had, but I did have a relationship with her,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a really close relationship with another one of my close friends too, and so um, when people suddenly leave us, like suddenly out of the blue, out of nowhere, you're like, wait a minute, it really sends us reeling. But what I know is that when I was saying about being purposefully, she lived a purposefully life
Mm-hmm.
because it showed up in the number of people who were connected to her,
Mm-hmm.
the number of people who knew the story, in and her name meant joy.
Yes, it did.
And so she brought joy everywhere she went. She left joy here. And at the end of the day, y'all, because at the end of the day, as they say, at the
As
end of the day,
Glorilla say,
Glorilla say, at
the
the end of the
they
day
go
gonna
in.
end. At the end of the day is gonna end. And if that day is your end, if today is your end, you will want to have lived that life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It might be brief to some of us, but you will have want to live that life. So that's why I want to say, honey, y'all better get to living every day.
Last thing, all right, I got one more thing to say about it. So, because she was my big sister, from the sorority, and she would always say I was her favorite little sister, right? And so, and she and some of my other big sisters, and so I would, uh, I love that, right? And so, it, I definitely had felt like I had this super special relationship with her, and then at the service, I'm hearing everybody talk, and I was like, she literally made every single person feel that same way. I heard the stories about sitting in the driveway and having these long marathon conversations. I'm thinking it's me. No, she had these marathon conversations with so many people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting and hearing all of these stories, how when you were in her presence, when she gave you these hugs, when you just communicated, you felt like super super special, like it was just for you. And it's like, how did she manage to make every single person she encountered feel that way? That to me, listen, I pray to get to that point in life. So
yeah, absolutely.
love you, sis. Miss
Love
you.
you. Yeah. Yep.
All
Yep.
right. So in May, we had the Thibodeau High School reunion, the
Hey,
annual reunion.
Chalet, you were there.
Yeah, shout out to Chaz James,
Shout
our
out, Chaz
little
James,
cousin,
little cousin.
adopted little cousin, and always putting on a great reunion. You know, he had the Boosie this year, the Boosie badass. So in a lot of ways, it became everybody's class reunion or
Yes,
everybody's
yes.
alumni reunion. But it was, listen. Y'all know I don't mess with Boosie that much. I like Boosie, but Boosie be saying stuff sometimes that I gotta be
He could be
like,
problematic a time or two.
boy, what did you talking about? Yes, problematic. That is the proper way of saying it. He can be problematic at times, but sometimes he's also weirdly enlightening and and quite entertaining. And he performed. It was at the end of the day, but the number of people, it was like folks from all over were like, yeah, oh, were you? Because we saw it, like it hit social media. They're like, we saw this. You out there? We're like, yeah, I
Yeah,
was
you
out there.
out
That's
there.
old Thibodeau. So shout out to that. But one of the things is we had, we had an unfortunate loss also. The Xavier family lost a young lady. We had a young man from our hometown who tragically passed away as well. And it was very public.
Very public.
And so we felt like it was necessary to do something. And we asked, we reached out to Chaz and his wife and their the James Company, and just said, we feel like it's important to do a health and wellness sort of a panel discussion on mental health, because we're losing too many of our young people. Like they're making really like permanent decisions where there are short-term issues, like these
temporary situations bringing a
situations.
permanent solution to a temporary situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to do something. We reached out to Chaz and his wife, and
he was down.
And he was down for it. He's like, yes.
It's not just a party. We're going to do something meaningful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so obviously we're not Boosie. So we didn't attract the same number of people. But I think everybody who was there, I hope at least, that everybody who was there felt like they got something out of it. And so again, alumni reunion was a great one. We thank you, Chaz. We thank you for all that you're doing. You've been doing a lot here. We see you. And then we're gonna keep doing all the things that we can to make sure that we can make a difference. Because Chaz is making his difference and doing, using his talent to make a difference. And we want to be able to do the same thing. So
yeah, absolutely. And I dropped in the comments here, thetry.org. It is friend of the show, Dr. Alana Curry, who has some great resources. She is a trained psychiatrist, and she is the founder of the Trauma Cure. And I've done a lot of work with her. We've had her on our show before. We probably will bring her back in 2026, because these are conversations that are ongoing. And as you said, in our road tripping here, we listened to another NPR show on this discussion about loneliness. And the loneliness epidemic in this country. And it is imperative for us to have skills. And that's what she's all about. She's a skills over pills psychiatrist. Skills to be able to navigate difficult situations, difficult conversations. Hey, the battle that's going on right here, being able to navigate, having skills in order to get through. So if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling stressed, if you're unsure about something, check out thetry.org. She has some great free resources out there that are available for everyone to access. Yeah, so do that.
Awesome. Okay, so June, I don't remember which way we did this, but I traveled to Miami for ABFF, which is the American Black Film Festival. I was not entering it, but I wanted to go and have that experience before I started entering some film festivals. So again, my girl Jessica, she was immediately going, it was no doubt about it. And then I was just like, maybe let me see if I can piggyback off of her trip. And she allowed me to piggyback off of her trip. So I registered, and it was a wonderful experience. One thing that I'll say as we're exploring this, let's just say long form content creation, Hollywood is changing a lot. And I think we all know that. The consolidation of studios, consolidation of networks, new parent companies, folks getting fired from their jobs because they say something about folks that folks don't like and they get mad. We have, and with the attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion, representation matters. And so when you don't see yourself in content, you have to build it yourself. You have to go and make it yourself. And so that's what happens with ABFF. You're seeing content that with people who look like you. And yeah, that's saying if the machine doesn't get behind you, sometimes you got to do it yourself. And there are people who are quote unquote stars,
well known, been in the game a long time,
and they're doing it too.
Yes,
they're doing their own productions. They're independent. They're fundraising. They're doing the same things that we're doing because, again, I just listened to Malcolm D. Lee on Keke Palmer's podcast. And he was saying how for Best Man, he wrote Best Man, he said, for Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, because at the time Will Smith had said how, he didn't have anything that he and his wife could do together. So he wrote it for them. But when they got to the studio, they were like, okay, you can have $9 million. Now, in the grand scheme of things, like if I got $9 million today, I'd probably be okay for several years. But in the grand scheme of making a film, $9 million, he was like, oh, well, Will Smith, that would be the whole budget. I can't get Will Smith. So obviously we know all the fabulous cast of The Best Man. So we're happy for that.
It turned out the way it turned out.
It turned out the way it turned out. But it's like, how ridiculous is it that you give a $9 million budget when you give some flops $50 million and they flop? So it is a tough game out there. Of course, artificial intelligence on top of all of that is changing the game for everything. So it was good to be there to see that. And then we got to see our production assistant in Memphis.
Yes. On the stage. She's waving her hand in the back. Hey, production assistant. Yeah.
Didn't know she was singing.
Acting, singing, dancing, did it all.
Going on a triple threat. Okay, Beyonce. It was, listen, and I'm just going to say this. My niece and my nephew are amazing. I guess it skips it. Did they be saying
skip a generation?
I guess the talent train skips a generation. We all have our talents. We just talked about this, and I don't want to bury my talent.
Now, I was acting in my one play. I only tried out for one play, and then I got the starring role in high school, but I didn't do no more plays after that.
I was in dancing, doing my.
Well, maybe we should do that in 2026. I mean, to find a local acting company. Yeah, let me do a community theater, girl.
Well, my niece and nephew are very talented, and it was amazing to see her just shine. And she's a star. And yeah, I was just like super proud of these kids for being out here. Thanks for just super proud of these kids being out here. Like, we're just gonna do the thing. And
yeah,
now some of the stuff they do, I don't necessarily align to, but the stuff where they're like, I believe in myself, and I'm going after, and I'm gonna get after it all day.
Get after it.
I'm here for it all day.
Because life is meant to be lived
and lived abundantly,
purposefully, with purpose and purposefully. That's right.
So yeah, we saw her. That was in June, and then after that, we made another trip.
Girl, see, my sister, y'all saw how she started off was like, oh, I don't know, and she had said this to me a few times this year, and I've been like, girl, do you realize all the things that you have done in spite of? She said how it's been tough.
It's been tough.
It can be tough and beautiful at the same time.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want folks to know and understand.
It's about what? there's
hard.
pain
It's
that
pain.
comes with growth,
Absolutely. There's pain, but
but it's beautiful.
it is beautiful. And one of the things, so we talked about some of the young adults who we known who have took a permanent route and ended their lives this year that we know about. That listen, what I want folks to know, regardless of your age, is that we can't run away from what we feel.
Mm-hmm.
We can't hide. You can't drink, as Solange said, you can't drink it away. You can't sex it away. You can't smoke it away. You cannot just throw up two in the air and it's gonna go away. All of those things that you feel are valid. So it's about, how do I equip myself to work through it? Because life always is going to have these good and these bad moments, these highs and lows. Everything is a two-sided coin. There's a coin right here. So one side, you got the other side. So you can't have bravery and courage without fear, because fear is on the other side of this. The only way you only way you do things that are brave and courageous is you go through the fear.
Yeah.
Right? So everything is a two-sided coin. That's why freaking Beverly told y'all joy and pain, sunshine and rain. And I really want more folks to come to terms with, you can't hide behind it on your phone and on social media and whatever. There are things we're experiencing that are difficult, that are challenging. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely okay. And it's okay to say, you know what? I'm actually going through a difficult time right now. Hey, I'm feeling melancholy. That's what my thing. Over Christmas, I was not like in a joyful, gleeful mood. I was feeling very melancholy. I've had my own feelings like, okay, where my tribe at? Who's supporting me? I've had those moments too. We all have those moments, and that is okay. It is really okay. But even in all these difficulties, girl, where you went? Tell them where you went in June.
We went to Spain.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
To Spain's Costa del Sol.
España. We went to Malaga. The whole Antonio Banderas.
Yes, we went to Costa del Sol, Sun Coast. We went to Fuengirola. We went to Marbella. We went to Malaga. We went to Granada.
We went to Ronda.
Yes, it was. I'll have to look up all the places, but it was a fantastic trip. And I always say, especially if you travel with your friends or what have you, establish what type of trip you're going on. Because some trips are we're just chilling. We're relaxing. Mm-hmm. We're going to lay by the pool, have some cocktails, mm-hmm. maybe go to the spa. That's it. And then that's all. That's all. And then there are other trips where it is important to understand the history, mm-hmm. the culture, the people, the music, the food, mm-hmm. all of those things. And that's what we experienced. So the areas that we went to, ultimately, we went to Alhambra, which was the last stronghold of the Moor Empire. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know, the Moors were those of African descent who were
remember Hannibal was all up in up and through there. Y'all remember, y'all studied y'all stuff about the Moors ruled Spain and part of Italy.
Yes.
Italy, Portugal.
Yes.
Yeah, but like 700 years.
Well, that was what was very intriguing. So, Spain is a predominantly Catholic country now. And it was like up until the 1500s, mm-hmm. the Moors ruled it. And then there was like wars forever.
There were wars on wars on wars. So y'all, when y'all watching the news right now, and y'all think, because y'all know, as I told y'all before, you don't create a Department of War unless you plan on going to war. And we see what's happening in this country right now.
In
If
Venezuela.
and with Venezuela bombing Nigeria, still talking about peace in Ukraine and Russia, even though they still bombing people over there. What guys are Hamas, like this, that, and other wars and wars and wars and wars. Baby, them people warred for years.
Yes. So we started in Malaga and
And the
in
Moors,
Carola.
if you did not know, not only are they of North African descent, they're also of Muslim religion.
Right. So let me see.
So the Muslims and Christians been acting a fool, y'all, for a long time.
So it was the end of June going into July. So July 3rd, it said, today travel to Granada, the last capital of the Moors in Spain before it fell to the Catholic monarchs in 1492. Here, spend the morning with a local expert visiting the Alhambra, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, also known as one of the wonders of the Muslim world. After your extensive morning walk at this centuries-old palace and fortress complex, enjoy some free time in Granada for lunch on your own before returning to your hotel in Fuencarrola to spend the evening as you please. So this fortress and this palace
was nothing but the Game of Thrones, y'all.
We've talked about this, and so
yeah, we're gonna go fast because
we're not gonna keep talking about it. But it was a fabulous trip. Shout out again to Xavier University. It was at the Office of
Institutional
Advancement. Listen,
alumni travel. Yes. Join us in 2026, y'all. We're going places in 2026. We're going to be outside again. We're going to New York, okay? We're going to Greece.
So,
okay.
She just told me to hurry up. But she goes,
yes, I'm just letting y'all know. So, Xavier, we bring our foxes along, our friends with Xavier. She's a fox. We want y'all to join us. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So listen, I just want Southern University to, if y'all doing some trips, I don't know about them, but I have been to Costa Rica, Belize, and now Spain with Xavier University. I have only done internships with Southern University. It's not a comparison because I've been told I compare. It's not a comparison. I just would like for us, it's an thank you, production assistant, an observation. Okay. Well, keep it moving. So in July, I traveled with our family to our family reunion. I don't remember what number it is, but it's in our 40s.
About 45,
45 or so.
Yeah.
And it was in Racine, Wisconsin. So I'd never been there before. And then back to Xavier University in August.
I did my first Martha's Vineyard trip. Woo! Woo, woo. So extra on the vineyard. Hopefully we will do that again as well. And I was there during the Martha's Vineyard Black Film Festival. So what we are playing, listen, we all touching and agreeing. So everybody who's on here, we want to touch and agree that we will see Endless Cycle and Thibodeauville accepted to the Martha's Vineyard Black Film Festival. We need that prayer. We need everybody to touch and agree. If you know somebody who on a panel who making them choices and selections, call them up, text them up, do whatever we need to do to get them there. Okay? Let's do that.
Amen. All right. So again, September, we came home and then had to travel to Mississippi to say farewell to our dear aunt, Patricia. And again, a loss that is still,
I still can't believe
it. And it's interesting because she was 81. She was about to be 82. And I don't know that it ever feels like it's enough time. Talking about a purpose and fully life, I still don't know that it felt like it was enough time. And it was, you could have told me a lot of things and never would have thought that. Because, and we didn't say this, so last November, We had Thanksgiving. We went to Mississippi with some of our family there. And then in February, one of our cousins passed away. And that was, our aunt's
Nephew.
nephew through marriage. And then in September, our aunt passed away. And so there was this moment that I just stands out for me in Thanksgiving
Yeah.
because my mom kept insisting, let's take a picture, let's take a
Yes.
picture. Somebody was giving the business like and I was like, girl, get your behind in this picture so we can
Yeah.
go ahead and take this picture. And I took that picture, and to think that again, November, December, January, February, 3 months later, our cousin was gone. And then before a year, 9 months later, or 10 months later, our aunt passed away. And they both were there. It is still so very hard to believe.
And she was the only girl.
Yeah.
And so when we said, our aunt she was for that that part of our family, on my dad's side of the family, she was our aunt because all we have on there was uncles, right? And one of the comments that my cousin made, and I just laughed, and I still laugh at it. She was like, Aunt Pat had all those sister-in-laws, and she got along with all of them. I don't know how she do that.
Yeah.
So that just tell you something about who she was, because she was one of 8.
Mm-hmm. One of 8 that survived.
Yes, one of 8 that survived, that were living, and that we grew up with in our life and our knowing of who our family was and what that family unit was. And she became the mother figure at a young age. As we've said, our father's mother passed away when he was 12 years old, and our youngest uncle was 1. And
she passed on his second birthday.
So but our Aunt Pat became mother, sister, aunt, daughter. She was that girl for us.
Yes.
And so it has been difficult.
It has been very, very, very difficult.
But we still sometimes we have some laughs.
Yes, we do. And
Oh, yes, indeed. Think about some of the things she said and did, and that brings us joy because, again, as I said earlier, that's what life is. It's those dark moments, but it's like in those dark moments, there's joy.
Mm-hmm.
There's laughter. There's it was probably the best memorial service I have ever been to. Mm-hmm. And so shout out to my cousins. But it just was.
It was the same thing, like I said with Aya. It was like, I was like, wow, this is a fantastic party. And even somebody commented, that if she had been there, she would have walked in and been like, for me, And I just kept, I was just waiting, like she's got to show up at some point because this is like we're all here. She has to show up, and so it's that's also.
But I will say this: Christmas, a mourning dove was outside of our the window here at our parents' home. And so I had to look up, I was like, what kind of bird is this? I was like, that's a dove. I don't know what kind of dove it is. And I took a picture.
And mourning,
MOURNING, mourning dove. And it says sometimes when you see a mourning dove, it may be the message of one of your loved ones coming back to say something to you. And one of the things since our parents moved into the home that they currently reside in, they were trying to get her to come and stay, and she didn't. And I think that mourning dove might have been her coming to say, hey, I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving right along. So that was September. October, you came with me to the Southern University homecoming. Okay, let me just say this. You can say it. I put a lot of pressure on myself because I wanted to show my sister a good time, because when I've gone to Xavier's homecoming, I've had a really good time. Obviously, it's a different scale, and I understand that. You actually went to Jackson State's homecoming too in the month of October. So you had a lot of homecoming to do.
I was homecoming. You hear me? I homecomed all
went
over,
home.
all over the homes. Every home that was to come to, I went to the home. Okay.
So yeah, I did. I put a lot of pressure on myself because I wanted to show my sister a good time. I don't think I succeeded, but it was
It was
definitely
fine.
memorable.
It was fine. Let me tell y'all something. So I've been to Southern Homecoming like years ago, right? So I didn't have the same recollection, but obviously, you know, we're at an age and stage where you do homecoming different. You do the homecoming like the Xavier with the VIP tent versus general population tent, right? We do different things, right? You did have some VIP stuff.
No, we purchased some things. It didn't.
It didn't materialize the same route.
It wasn't VIP like y'all VIP. We need to step it up. And I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say
it's another observation.
It's another observation, not comparison, just an observation. Step it up. People got, and if I gotta pay, I don't mind paying.
That's right.
I like furniture. Sit down. I want to sit down.
Baby.
I don't want gin pop around me.
Yes, we want the bar that is flowing.
Right. I want y'all been to the bathrooms that are the mobile homes that, that are just bathrooms, but they're air conditioned. They're not porta potties. They're a mobile home. And that's what I want. That has toilet tissue stuff and has somebody working.
And has somebody cleaning it and keeping it fresh. Yeah.
And if I gotta pay for that, I'm willing to pay for it.
Okay, she talking to her school because my school wasn't like that, and Jackson State ain't like my school either. But theirs was cute and fine. It was fine.
I went to one day.
She did only go to one day, Jasmine.
I did only go to one day, but I've been in the past.
She has
for several days.
You went my freshman year, and then you went what?
No,
before that.
Oh well, yes.
Nonetheless, anywho, my sister was put way too much pressure. Listen, it was delightful. It was joyous.
It was memorable.
We sat in the hotel at the hotel bar, and we were ear hustling on a conversation, and that we did not need to ear hustle on because they were talking so loud.
So loud, and calling their friends or sister on FaceTime while you're on a date. That's not cute.
While you're on a date with your bonnet on and your face beat and the boy is like, you know, because with this credit card, I get cash back. I was like, boy, if you do not, this is what I want to say. Raise your daughters to not be impressed by regular things.
Like cash back on your Capital One credit card.
Yeah. Because, you know, he was going to buy her a car. He was going to pay.
He was going to buy her a car and pay.
All she had to do was pay for the insurance. That's so she had to call her friend and say, girl, you gonna buy me your car. I showed him and he was like, that's light work, girl. I got that. And
you saw what I came in with.
Yeah, you saw what I came here with. Baby, let me tell y'all something. Don't raise your daughters not to be impressed by things that are regular. Because if you got a good credit score, it was real regular.
It was also, let me just say this. They were trying to express to their friends how they knew their other friends weren't going to be at the hotel they were at because it was like $300 a night. And you know they ain't going to pay for that. Listen, you overpaid, sir. We paid $100-something. So you should have got on Expedia or Priceline or something. Because again, you know, go to a nice hotel. It was a nice hotel. But let's be realistic about things, right? No, you shouldn't pay $300-something a night for a $150, $200 hotel. That's just dumb. But yes, he was going to give her a $30,000 vehicle. I was like, girl, please, as soon as this night is over, you are no longer going to get a vehicle. Please know that. But nonetheless,
that brings us to November.
And I didn't write this down, but our uncle made 90 in September.
Yeah.
And we were going to do a gathering for him, but after our aunt passed, we had to shift. But in November,
yes, we got to celebrate our oldest uncle, our father's oldest brother. He turned 90. And so shout out Uncle Manny, as we call everybody got a Manny or man son. Y'all know y'all got a man son in y'all family too, girl. But
just a man.
Oh man. But shout out, you know, 90 years is it's astonishing. And if you listen to the stories that my father and my other uncles and my aunt Pat would have told, it's like they surprised he lived past 9.
Right.
Cause they say he was a hell on wheels, baby. But honey, I love Uncle Manny. We all love Uncle Manny. So we are very grateful that he lived to see 90. Yeah, absolutely.
And you want to talk about your homecoming? You already talked about it a little bit, but go ahead,
honey.
Give it, because this the centennial year about to come to the end.
Our centennial year is coming to a close. Xavier University of Louisiana, we have our largest homecoming ever in terms of registrants and attendance and tailgating, and it was one for the record books. And it was my 30th class reunion for the class of 1995. Shout out to the class of 1995. We established an endowment, so our class will go on into perpetuity, and continuing to give and pour into the educating others who come behind us. But I just, Centennial it was everything that I hoped it would be. I literally shed a tear or two. I had a few moments, just moments of introspection and reflection, because it has gone by way too fast. It has gone by way too fast. But I'm grateful for the friendships that I have made and forged at Xavier University of Louisiana, and we are ready for the next 100. And we at our institution, as she said, Southern Production Assistance, Jackson State, whatever institution that you support, listen, federal dollars are restricted. The majority of Xavier students are Pell Grant eligible. If you just go see what the Department of Education has done, and but the reduction of Pell Grants, the restriction of Parent Plus loans, the reduction in graduate loans and opportunities, most of us would not have been able to go to college and get through college without these financial support systems. And they impact that institution's ultimate ability to fund research. See what they have done with NIH dollars. And so research institutions and all institutions of higher learning are impacted by what has been happening. So if you have an institution that you support it regularly, consistently, and it doesn't take a lot. One thing we do at HBCUs, baby, we turn a lot from a little. We take a little and turn it into a lot. So if you
make something out of nothing,
make something out of nothing.
I'm gonna just use those words, Julie. Yeah. I know you say something else,
but because that's what we do. We paper chasers. We got that. Listen, that's what we do. And without our institutions, you wouldn't have the Black doctors that you have. You wouldn't have the Black lawyers that you have. You wouldn't have the Black accountants that you have. Insurance, engineers, nurses, anything. Every profession, career, salespeople, every profession and career, you would not have them.
Okay. So all right. Listen, I'm just because I want us to get to a quick in memoriam. So we came home. I came home. One of my dear friends, again, Kim and Val, friends of the show, their mother was on our show a few years ago. Miss Annie Lee Wilson, rest in peace. She transitioned, and then my other friend's father, Mr. Tony Watson, also transitioned. So, December has been a rough one. Mm-hmm. And as my sister said, there was some senses of, there was a sense of being a little melancholy, right? And so, again, that dichotomy, in order to have joy, we have to have some pain. In order to appreciate the sunshine, we have to have some rain. So there were a lot of people who transitioned, and here are just a few, and we want to remember them. So Ananda Lewis transitioned, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Roberta Flack, D'Angelo, Danielle Spencer D, Angie Stone, Dwayne Wiggins from Tony, who I actually saw in February, 2 days before he passed. He performed. Kimberly Abert Gregory, Roy Ayers, Irv Gotti, and Valletta Wallace, mother of Notorious B.I.G., Jimmy Cliff, and mother Viola Fletcher. One of the, I think there's two survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre. Our history is so important, and these families have never received any real reparations for the trauma. She lived to be, what was it, 111 years old. So surely she should have received some reparations from that. And Sly Stone and George Foreman. And the other day we had two in one day. It was Isaiah
Whitlock
Jr. and
Smallwood.
Richard Smallwood.
Not Richard.
Yeah, Richard.
It's
Smallwood.
Richard.
Yes. Now you got Richard Smallwood.
It is Richard. All I know is praise is what I do. Okay, total praise. And one of the best gospel songs ever.
Yes, and so many more. Those were just some that, we. So
yeah.
So anyway,
so whatever you're looking forward to in 2026, we pray that you receive it, that you achieve it, and most importantly, that you take a time to enjoy it. Don't be so busy going on to the next. See, that's another thing about the tyranny of goals. We're so busy trying to go on to the next, do the next thing. We did that, do the next thing. Y'all, we got to embrace these moments. We got to embrace one another, and we have to embrace this life. So that's what I want to say to all of you.
Well, what I will say, the last thing is, I read somewhere, and I've kind of remixed it, but it's what I'm carrying into 2026. We are not responsible for our childhood trauma, but we are absolutely responsible for our adult healing. We're not responsible for our childhood trauma, but we are absolutely responsible for our adulthood healing. And that, for me, is what I'm leaning into as I start anew in 2026. So with that, sister.
Hold on, girl. I'm trying to get that in here.
Absolutely responsible. We're not responsible for our childhood trauma, but we're absolutely responsible for our adult.
Child, listen, hold on now. I'm trying to type while you talking.
I was just trying to make it parallel, so I said adulthood healing.
Yeah, that's deep right there.
So that's what I have. So Happy New Year, sister.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Yay. Mwah.
Be blessed.
Bye-bye.